Okay, we are going to solve by substitution. So this requires a lot of algebra. So substitution is just like it says. You are substituting something in, and then something else is going to come out. So here are the steps. Solve one of the equations for one of the variables if necessary. So if it's already been solved, you don't have to solve one. It's already been solved. Step 2, substitute the solution to the second equation. And then solve the new equation. Check your answer by graphing or plugging in the values. So let's go with number 1. Okay, we're going to draw a lot of circles, a lot of arrows, so make sure you're following along. So it says x equals 5 and x plus y equals 12. Look familiar? It was our warm-up from today. So we're going to solve using substitution now. Circle the x equals 5. We're going to substitute in 5 for x. So I have x plus 5 equals 12. X plus y equals 12. I'm going to substitute in 5 for x. So it's 5 plus y equals 12. Then we're going to solve it out. Well, we could kind of do this in our head. 5 plus what is 12? 7, right? 7. So the way we solved that is by, in our head, subtracting 5. And we were able to say y equals 7. Circle it. So with solving a solution or solving a system, that means you're getting two values. You're getting an x value and a y value, and you're going to write it as a coordinate pair, x comma y. So it's an x comma y as our solution. So don't forget to do that at the end. 5 looks funny. Okay, let's go to number 2. These are both already solved for y. So we have y equals 9. So what we can do is we also have y here on the other equation. So we're going to substitute in 9 for y. So we have 9 equals 9x minus 9. We're going to need to solve that. Draw your line down your equal sign, and we're solving the equation. So to solve it, we need to move that plus 9 to the other side by doing, or that minus 9 by doing plus 9 on both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So then we divide by 9 on both sides. So don't forget all of our steps for solving equations. You do the add or subtract first, and then your last step is to divide by the number in front. So 18 divided by 9 is 2. So 2 equals x. But our final answer has to be written as a coordinate pair, x comma y. So x is 2, y is 9. Okay, so far not so bad. All right, let's look at the next one. We have 2y equals, which actually it's easier on this one to graph it and find where they intersect. But I want y'all to see how this works with substitution too. So this one's listed as y equals that. This one's listed as y equals that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set x plus 5 equal to negative x plus 3. Because they both equal y. So if they both equal y, they equal each other. So x plus 5 equals negative x plus 3. And so we're solving an equation that has an x on both sides. So when we have an x on both sides, we want to move one of the x's to the other side. There's more than one way to do it. The way I like to do it, if it's just like this, I like to move the smaller x. But if I already had an x on the other side, then I might move the other way. So it kind of depends on how it's set up. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the minus x by adding x. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So those are going to cancel. And I have x plus x. 2x plus 5 equals 3. Now we're at an equation we could solve easily. Get all of our x's on one side. Already did that. Now we need to do the add or subtract first. So we need to get rid of that plus 5 minus 5. 2x equals 3 minus 5, negative 2. We need to get x by itself. We do the divide on both sides. Negative 2 divided by 2. Negative 1. Okay, so we have the x, but we don't have a y yet. We still have to find y. But we have x, so look at our two equations up here. Which equation do you think it would be easier to plug in a negative 1 for x to find y? The first one or the second one? I'd say the first one because we have a positive x. The second one has a negative x. So I want to plug this in, draw your arrow, for x. So we have y equals x plus 5. We're going to plug in negative 1 for x. So if you need to put that in the calculator, you can, or if you know negative 1 plus 5 is 4. Okay, we're not done because how do we have to write our answer? X comma y. Negative 1 comma 4. That's our solution. Okay, let's go to number 4, and I actually changed those problems up. We're going to do these instead. So mark out what we got. Put what I have. Okay, so y equals 3x and 2x plus 2y equals 12. So what we look for first, are one of them already solved for a variable? Yes. Y is solved. It says y equals 3x. So we are going to find out where we need to plug that in into the other equation. So it says y equals 3x. So we're going to plug in this for y. Because instead of it being just y, it's going to be y is 3x. The whole goal is to get that second equation to only have one variable. If it has one variable, we can find out what it equals. So we have 2x minus 2. When I substitute something in, I want to put it in as inside parentheses still. So the y is 3x equals 12. So all I did was replace this y with 3x. Now we're going to solve it. So I need to simplify the left side. I need to get rid of that parenthesis. So what are we going to do with negative 2 times 3x? Multiply it. What do we get whenever we do negative 2 times 3x? Yeah, so it's going to be 2x minus 6x. Okay, we need to simplify that. What's 2x minus 6x? Negative 4x. Okay, now what do we need to do to get x all by itself? Divide by the number in front of x. What? Negative 3, yeah. I got negative 4 by doing 2 minus 6. And you could put that in the calculator, just leave the x's off. Do 2 minus 6, but no x's. You're combining like terms. Okay, then we have our x, but we need y. So which equation would it be easier to plug in the x to find y? The first one, because look, if I put this in here, it's going to be super easy because y'all watch. X is negative 3. So instead of putting x, I'm going to put negative 3. So y equals 3, parentheses, negative 3. So I replaced x, or I substituted x in as negative 3. So what is 3 times negative 3? Negative 9. So we have our x comma y. X is negative 3. Y is negative 9. Okay, number 5. We're actually going to learn how to do number 5 tomorrow using matrices. That one, we could also solve for y and graph. We are going to skip this one. Let's go to the last one. Okay, what are they both solved for right now? For x. So since they're both solved for x, then they are equal to each other. So set them equal, yeah. 3y minus 6 equals y plus 2. If they're both solved for x or both solved for y, then you set them equal to each other. And solve. Go ahead and do this one. What should we do first? Subtract what? The y. There is more than one way to do this also. So if you start with subtracting 3y, you're fine. So if I have 3y, I take a y away. How many do I have? 2y. Okay, now it's a simple equation to solve. What do we have to do? Plus 6. 2y equals 8. And then what's our next step? Divide by 2. So what does y equal then? 4. Okay, so we have one of them. Which equation now, think about it. Which equation do you think you should plug in? Y equals 4. Second one? Why the second one? It's easier. Because if I plug it in here, I don't have to multiply anything. I just have to do 4 plus 2. So x equals y is 4. 4 plus 2. So what does x equal? 6. So what's our coordinate?
6, 4.
6, 4. Okay, before we stop what we're doing, I want us to go to the assignment because 2 of the problems I want to change. 4 and 5, I'm changing. 4 and 5, I'm changing, and you can cross out number 6.